take me back to training. Have you got any stories that you're allowed to share from Navy SEALs training that kind of sum up how horrendous it was?
Yeah, training is not something that you have to worry about. Really, it's really everybody kind of has a very good understanding of that training. It's called basic underwater demolition school, so it's not, you don't learn anything other than just how to take a lot of abuse and get through it. And so that's really what it's designed to do. The first the change since I went in was the phases of training. So there's 3 phases. There is, well, I don't count pre-training as a phase, but they do. So there's pre-training where people get ready now, because they found out, back when I went through, there was no pre-training. You showed up and you just got right into training. You had to figure it out yourself. And we had super high attrition rates, for that. A lot of guys, just weren't ready for it. So then they started to do some pre-training where guys would come in, kind of, learn the runs and learn to run in combat boots in the sand and all that other good stuff. What was interesting was phase 1 is just the physical abuse. It's what most of us see, they're carrying the logs over their head. It culminates with, week 6 is Hell Week. And so Hell Week's the big deal where, they keep you up, 24 hours a day, for 5 days straight. And that's the reason behind that is just to see what you can take. They want you to quit. At least when I was going through, it was really, really, I remember, instructors who later became friends of mine down the road professionally. I remember having a conversation with one time, and this guy used to get in my face and yell all the time. And I would say to him, I go, "Oh, it was great when you did that. It really motivated me." He goes, "What?" And I said, Yeah, I know you were trying to motivate me." He goes, "No, I wasn't." He goes, "I was trying to get you to quit." And so I had this illusion, and it was very funny. But really what it's about is they just want to see if you have the character and the ability to survive, rigorous training. And the 3 phases are, the first is the physical training. And then the second phase, when I went through, the second phase was weapons and explosives. You'd go out to San Clemente Island. You'd be a couple weeks in San Diego training, and then you'd go out to San Clemente Island, which is an island off of the coast of Coronado. And you would train, land tactics, everything. And then the third phase of training for us was diving, where it was just an intense diving program. Well, what they found was that a lot of guys would make it through the first few phases of training, but dive training was where they'd lose a lot of people. And they had a couple of incidences, which was really interesting, where washouts from buds were now trained tactically, at the very basic level, but competently, how do you, do explosives and do training. And a lot of times those guys would get out and they would become not just private military contractors, but they go work for some bad guys once in a while. And so what they figured to do is they switched it. So now you do the physical training up front first, just like always. Second phase of training now is dive training. So if you wash out of dive training, you have not been trained in any explosives or anything advanced that way. So now that kind of really helped reverse things. And now, so the last training now is the land warfare phase. And I think that was a very smart move that they did.
So people would learn to create the bombs and how to use them, and then drop out and work for the bad guys.
Yeah, basically you'd have some people. Now listen, it wasn't a lot of people, but it was enough to be concerned. And all you had to do was change. Had you changed the phases, that never would have been a possibility, And so that's all they recognized it, that they had a couple of cases where that was happening. And I think it was really smart that the command decided to make that change.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's kind of terrifying. Does it concern people that SEALs that later become public figures might give away kind of like secret tactics or secret training programs?
It's rare. It's rare when that happens. Even the bravado that you see a lot of times. I saw one guy kind of pushing it, but even him, he would get to the one stage where you'd go, he better not say this next thing. And then he doesn't. And you go, okay, all right. So he's pushing the edge on certain things. But also, you have to understand, it's not a, how do I say it? It's not we're talking about basic underwater demolition school, the first training that you get. If a guy comes out of that, yes, he has basic training and a little bit more advanced than say a basic Marine or Army infantry guy or a Air Force operator. So yes, he'll have more advanced weapons training, but it's nothing compared to what you get once you graduate. And that's when you really learn, you really start to learn and integrate into the teams. And when you graduate basic underwater demolition school, you're not a SEAL. You just qualified to go to the SEAL teams, and then you go through advanced training after that. And if you make it through that, then you get your credential that you're a SEAL. So you go to your SEAL team, and then that's where you get accredited as a naval special warfare operator, and you get the insignia, the buds, insignia, the Budweiser, and that's where it happens. There's a misconception, I think, that a lot of people think you graduate from buds and you're automatically a SEAL, and that's not the case.
If you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast, and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.